Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fall River Media News. I'm your host, Dave Mead. And, well, actually, tonight's show, the reason why I am coming on to, coming on is that I was just watching the city council meetings tonight. Tonight, I was just watching it, and I'll tell you. I mean, they had the mayor down there, Mayor Paul Coogan. Okay, who was actually at the meeting, and what makes me laugh, okay, is that Michael Canuel, Councilor Michael Canuel, was trying to speak. You know what I'm saying? On a certain item, and Joe Camara is over there interrupting him all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Cliff Ponte already told him. You know what I'm saying? Look, hey, Camara's got the floor. Okay. I mean, Canuel's got the floor, and it's like, and Joe Camara is, I mean, the rat that he is always trying to, intervene in his, Michael Canuel's conversation when Cliff Ponte told him a couple of times to knock it off. You know what I'm saying? And so he kept on interfering with Canuel. Canuel was like, it's like, I mean, it's like, I have the floor. Please let me talk. You know what I'm saying? Cliff Ponte told him this, president of the city council, Cliff Ponte, told him the same thing. Hey, Councilor Canuel has the floor. So it's like, and he kept on, interfering with his, with him talking. So, anyways, that was funny, but hey, and good job, good job, Councilor Canuel, for sticking with it. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, thank you. But I just want to let you know that I was watching the city council, and I was actually watching the city council, and it was hilarious. Okay, there was like a certain item. I think I got it. Let me see something here. Let's see if I can play a replay on this thing. Open up a tab on Facebook. That's because they know I shared it. I think I did share it. I did.
I would also like to emphasize, because the world is convinced it's the city council being stubborn, it's only the $40,000, and it is not. And I know there are councilors here tonight who want to speak. They want to address their issues. I have something myself that I want to address with transportation. So yes, we're not done with budget talks. I just wanted to clarify, and it's much better for you and I to sit face to face so everybody can hear our dialogue. So it's not he said, she said, misconstrued. I just wanted everything to be
No,
everything to be clear for
You've been up
everyone.
front. You've been up front, and I try to be the same way.
Yep.
But again, when we left the meeting, I didn't say we're all set, we're good to go. You didn't say we're all set, we're good to go. You said there's work to do on this agreement, and that's how I left.
I agree. I
Okay.
agree. Again, we agree. So before we go line by line in the budget, I would like councils to be able to talk about their concerns with the budget, if we can do it that way.
Sure. There's a number of councilors who have to speak.
And with that, I will yield for now.
Thank you. Councilor in seat 1, Councilor Kadim.
Thank you. So one, thank you for being here. Two, I just want to say the characterization as petty politics over $40,000 is extremely disingenuous and ignores the broader issues that have been raised by the council. And I, for one, I won't speak for any other councilor. I've got no confidence in Corporation Council, and I'd be willing to take a vote of no confidence for the entire office. To have an opinion drafted without, again, us even requesting an opinion 2 hours
That's right.
before a meeting.
I requested.
Okay, right.
That was
No,
not,
so that
they
was.
didn't do that out of the blue.
I understand that. but
And that was off of our conversation yesterday with you, when you called me up and said, well, I'm going to object right
Right.
away. And I had already heard rumblings, right or wrong, that there was that an objection wasn't allowed. I asked for the opinion.
Right.
They didn't do that on their own. I'll take the full responsibility.
And I appreciate that, but
Okay.
our conversation was on Friday,
That's what, he
not-
wasn't
not-
back till Monday. Yeah.
not Tuesday. So the first thing I would say is I want clarification, because in here it says this isn't the first time that's before us. We rejected the budget,
Correct.
flat out rejected the budget. So is this issue that's before us the first time it's before this?
It's about the budget rejection.
Ask the CFO, in terms of budgets, can you have a budget without an appropriation?
What do you mean?
Can you have a budget without an appropriation?
It's a budget book. It's not a budget. So no, without an
You need-
appropriation.
You need an appropriation. Okay. Do you think Corporation Council should know that you need an appropriation in order to have a budget? Is that like Finance 101? Is that Municipal Law 101?
I just hope he's not focused on that. I hope he's focused on the legal issues facing the city. I don't.
No,
know if he
I mean,
knows
if
that.
Corporation Council is giving us an opinion on something, one would assume, right, that the biggest part of any municipal operation is a budget. That in order to have a budget, you need to have an appropriation, right? So I would assume that every attorney who practices municipal law would understand that. So the question that's before us as to whether or not what school department vote we're going to take. The first budget we rejected, there was no appropriation. Yet in the second paragraph, it says the city council thereafter considered the proposed budget at multiple meetings. During its initial consideration, the council approved the school department budget but rejected the remaining portions. That's correct. But we rejected the appropriation. There is no appropriation, therefore there is no budget.
Point of order.
Your point of order,
What,
Councilor?
what appropriation was approved
We did not approve the school department budget.
the first time?
No, we did not.
On June 3rd, you did.
No, we did not. Listen, hear me out. We approved a line item. The line item was the school department budget. The appropriation was never changed or reduced to fund the school department. So we skipped a step, not even realizing we skipped it. And because we skipped that step and it was never funded, we never approved the school department budget.
That's correct.
That's
Councilor, thank you for your
that's
point
where
of
I
order.
was. That's where I was going. with
Councilor in
the-
seat 1.
No, that's exactly where. No, it's okay. That's you clarified it, but that's exactly where I was going. So there was no appropriation that was ever submitted. So there was no budget. So the entire budget was rejected. So again, when we're having a legal opinion coming before us saying that there was a budget approved, I'd like to know how there was a budget that was approved with zero appropriation. There wasn't a single dollar that was appropriated to any line item of that initial budget. That budget was rejected. It came back before us. We rejected again. The budget is not before us. So for us to even, again, this flies in the face of taking away the authority of the city council, whether you agree with it or disagree with it. The city charter says that a counselor can object to an item that's before us. And yet again, every time we try to compromise with council, they come back and give us these types of opinions. And then we wonder why we want to hold up a budget for $40,000. It's not petty politics. January 27th, 2026, we had a ordinance meeting. There was a discussion between licenses and leases. And we were trying to compromise with Corporation Counsel, and Matt Thomas, who was representing Corporation Counsel, told us that we didn't need the ordinance because at the end of the day, the lease should not have been approved without the city council. And we said, we want a safety net. What guarantees do we have? Quote, the power of the purse. You deny the money, that is the ultimate control of the city council. We are just taking the recommendation from Matt Thomas coming through Corporation Counsel. We are not happy with the legal opinions. I, as one, have no confidence in any of the opinions coming from Corporation Counsel. We want our own attorney for legal opinions. We've drafted an MOA. Corporation Counsel refuses to sign. He'll sign to form legality of a document, but he won't assign or agree to the actual agreement and the documentation that's before us. He'll never do that. So the question is it the city council that's holding up the budget, or is it Attorney Rumsey that's holding up the budget?
Attorney Remedy.
So in our conversations to get to an agreement, he contends that there is Massachusetts law which indicates what a corporation counsel can and can't do. His position is that he is not allowed to sign an agreement like that, which could expose the city and its taxpayers to legal claims. He can sign that the mayor and the council president agreed to a policy to give them money, as we did in the past. I don't think it was formalized then, but at the same time, he said that if he signed something like that, he could literally put himself in jeopardy. So I said, and I've said it probably too many times, that I don't have a problem working with the council to sign it myself. I just guess from what I'm signing, and we come to an agreement on the language, it's not sufficient for you guys. But as long as I'm here, and hopefully it's another, whatever it is, year and a half or year and 5 months, then I will definitely work with you on that. I said it before, I'll say it again. The problem is, trying to negotiate a deal that everybody's on board with. And I, as someone who's a town administrator, I know you have a corporation counsel. Sean, get an opinion for me if you would. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with anybody doing that. But I think we have to work together to get this budget passed and get this agreement behind us.
Right. And so one, I can't get an opinion from another community. That's one. So, Corporation Counsel can get an
I don't know if you had a
opinion.
conversation with them.
Right. So, we can have those conversations, but the draft agreement that we have starts off number one, authority of Corporation Counsel. Pursuant to section 2-527 and 2-528, the Code of the City of Fall River and Administration Act, the Corporation Counsel remains the only authority authorized to legally bind the City of Fall River. We've acknowledged that. We've asked for an appropriation. We've asked for a good faith resolution. We've asked that the City Council draft a policy. The selection of the City Council was clearly outlined. He has a seat at the table, but the ultimate decision on our council would be coming from the City Council. We discussed funding payments, everything that's listed in the funding payment, making sure that nothing was held up. We talked about creating an ordinance that would allow this to continue to move forward. We talked about the duration of this. We talked about amendments, how that would be handled. Nothing in here took anything away from his authority, yet we don't have an agreement. This is a pretty
Well, no,
straightforward
But I
MOA
think what you're
that-
saying, Sean, is the things that we can work through.
No.
Where's the money going to be? Who's going to authorize the payment?
fair.
How, I'm
It was-
saying, but
it was
there's,
all there, and I
well, some of the other things were in Nick's agreement, and we never married the two up. And that's what I think we've been working on. Because when we sent out our first one, said draft, I think we got the other one from Councilor Pont. So we're trying to marry those up. Now, that's all we're working on.
This-
And
this
again,
draft- This draft, Mr. Mayor, with all due respect, is a pretty straightforward. He's just refusing to sign it. He's not going to sign it, and that's fine. That's you are ultimately the mayor.
Yeah.
Right? You are the individual who ultimately has control of every single department that's before us. If you want this MOA to get signed, the mayor says it gets signed. Right. So if Corporation Counsel refuses to sign it because of some type of law he says that he's read somewhere that I've asked for the last month and a half, and he's yet to provide it to any of the city councilors, then that's fine. But that's ultimately up to you.
That's
but
fair.
you were elected to serve as the mayor.
Right.
So from my standpoint, if this MOA is legitimate and straightforward, and all it is saying in terms of what we're looking for is just consultation. That's all it is. is it's consultation. It's a second legal opinion. It is not binding the city to anything. It is giving us no different than having an outside auditor come in or an engineer come in to give us an opinion on something or render services to us. It does not take anything away from corporation
I'll
counsel.
tell you
That
what.
is clear. Hold on, that is clearly laid out. But
But I
Attorney
think-
Rumsey refuses to cooperate. In fact, when we were talking about the leases and the licenses and contracts, after the meeting, I went out there in the hallway and I said, "Can we come
Attorney
to a
Ramsey.
compromise to try to resolve some of this stuff?" And his response to me was no. So when we start talking about compromises, when we have these conversations behind closed doors, and there is a pushback for $40,000. So you've got a corporation counsel who is refusing to agree to something for $40,000. But this is what we're going to talk about.
No.
Okay, so let's not talk about the transportation that's about $1 million off that we've had discussions with that are now only just being discussed, right? And then I'm hearing with this whole entire budget process. I would ask, when did you start having conversations with department heads on this budget?
Individually, after they've submitted their budgets, you mean? March,
Or
end of
mid-April?
March?
How about mid-April?
Okay.
Is that-
Mid-April,
Mid-April. When's the budget due?
May
mid-May.
15th?
May 15th. So we have a $484 million budget, and the first time we have conversations with department heads is mid-April, a month before that.
That's Attorney
So
Ramsey.
now I'm getting accused of extorting the city for $40,000. Okay, that's on public radio. I'm getting accused of having secret meetings with Cliff at his restaurant because I can't, God forbid, I go to Al Max Diner and have some breakfast, right? Okay, I am being accused that we've got deadlines to meet. But yet the administration meets with department heads a month before the budget is submitted. And then when we try to get responses, we have no responses. I've been trying to get answers to transportation since the first time it's come down. There was no conversation with the school department. We still don't have any conversation. I don't even know. And I've had this conversation with you, Emily, and the city administrator that's sitting before us as to whether or not maybe it's to the city's benefit that the actuals are coming in less and we don't need all this money. But there is zero documentation that is before us that is showing this. And so now I've got to sit here and be told that, oh, we've got to rush this through. This is what we got to do. No, it's not our responsibility to rush anything through. The expectation is that we're going to have the documentation to prove that everything that we're looking for is actual. We've got, and I asked the question, $450,000. And I think the chief said maybe $400,000 to $450,000 of retirement buyouts. I asked that question the first time when we had the budget before us. The very next meeting that we had a transfer of $450,000 to fund the deficit because of employee retirements in the police department. And we don't even have $400,000 in this year's budget built in. And the chief said that's exactly what we need. So we're $400,000 or $450,000 in a deficit right off the rip.
This resubmission does have $400,000. It's actually $395 for retirement buyouts in police.
Right.
This new appropriation order that's before us for the
Yes,
first time.
it does.
Yep.
Yes, it
It's
has
in the budget.
$395 in there for retirement buyouts for police.
Which again, I haven't really reviewed because I haven't had the time to review it. So I don't know why.
I just wanted to let you know.
It's
No,
in
but,
I
but do you understand where I'm
that.
coming from, though, in terms of you're submitting budgets to
What a
us,
joke.
we need to vote on stuff, and it's like the things are not done, the timeframes are not met, but we're the ones that are getting blamed for it. Well, that's the narrative that's being spun.
Well, no.
And I just don't appreciate it because it's not the 40,000. It's the 40,000. It's the transportation. It's the questions on the healthcare. It's the 450,000 which you have there. It's the items on the indirect costs that we haven't seen.
Yeah, but I
there's a
think,
number.
Sean,
of
you're not
things.
giving yourself enough credit. If you bring something up, whenever one of you brings up, that should be in there. We don't just leave here and say, oh, good, let's have another day. I'll see you tomorrow. We go back and go to work on that stuff. And that's why this transportation, you and I have had conversations right across the table about that. I am convinced we're fine on that. Because, I mean, even talking to Emily about that, there's over $700,000 in McKinney-Vento surpluses that we haven't touched. That's transportation money for us. So and if we're shorting them 900,000, we're right on the edge right there. So I'm not worried about transportation. I believe we have more than sufficient funds there.
But
I
that-
didn't
that
know
would-
I did not even know the first time we talked that we had that kind of a surplus in McKinney-Vento. But now I do, and I think, leaving them a buffer in case they get hit with a bad bill is also fair. But at the same time, if we need it for transportation, we'll use it.
That's on the school side.
Transportation is ours.
Transportation is ours. But the
McKinney-Vento is transportation.
but it held on the school side.
Does it, I don't think it has to be. Does it? We'll get to you on that. I don't have a problem, but I believe we can use it.
So I've got a number of questions. I just haven't had time, so I'll yield to my colleagues to have this discussion. But I just want to be very, very clear that it's not just the 40,000, but I will still stand by that if we don't have $40,000 in the city council budget, that I will be, in my personal vote, I will not be supporting the budget. This is the only opportunity, quote, Matt Thomas, the power of the purse strings. This is the only time we have the control to be able to get what we need. I have no confidence in Corporation Council. I asked for $100,000 reduction in salaries. Haven't seen it. We got reductions on the expense side. And I still got a number of questions with transportation and other
That's
line items.
the
and
corporate counsel
some of
attorney
them are discussed,
Ramsey.
but I don't know that for a fact. So that's where I stand. So it's not just one issue. There's a number of issues that are before us. So with that, I yield.
Thank you, Councilor seat 6, Councilor Peckham.
Good evening. How are you? Can we find out right now what's up with the McKinney-Vento question? Do we have a response to that? Because that makes a big deal.
I do not have the responses prepared that I think.
Can
we're
you go
looking
get
I
them
don't
for
have-
us?
No,
Because
no.
I'm
what
not
do you
supposed
mean
to. I'm
no?
not supposed to be here right now.
No, she's
I
supposed
was
to have
very
a-
clear.
she had a very
yeah,
serious
I
appointment.
can't.
Well, then you should have called this meeting.
Well, we discussed
Right
the
or wrong?
timing.
Am I right or am I wrong?
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. You should have called this meeting, even though she's got somewhere to be and
Hold on.
shouldn't be here
If I
tonight.
could answer, I would.
Go right ahead.
So when we met with Cliff and Michelle, we had talked about this meeting. At the time, the president was going to call it. It would be a very quick meeting. Bang, 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 because she had a very important appointment. And I said, well, we're going to be there a while. No, it'll be a vote. And I was told there are no more cuts coming. The budget should be up or down quickly that night. That's what I thought this was going to be. That's what I was told. So now it kind of went.
It frustrates me.
Yeah,
why
well,
I
it went
canceled the
sideways a
meeting.
little bit, but that's where we are, and it is where we are. But she should not be here.
Well, that's fine. Yes, she should be. She's a chief financial
I
officer.
understand, but-
And she shouldn't have made plans during budget season, just like I
But
couldn't.
she relied on people.
Well, that's fine. And I relied on myself being here to pass a $490
appreciate
million
it.
budget.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome. So I'm going to touch upon the 40 grand. I think we've had this conversation. I really don't care about it. I have many more issues than that 40,000 that everybody keeps talking about. But I'm going to touch upon why I have those problems. And I want to tell you a story since you're sitting right in front of me and you've been most of the blame for this. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm driving in the car with my mother. Okay. She's 66 or 67 years old, just retired this year. So we're at a red light at Rodman and Hartwell Street. She turns to me and she goes, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." She goes, "Your father's 76. They're about 9 years apart in age." She goes, "I'm worried because when he passes, I have nowhere to go. Doesn't make enough money to live in the city of Fall River." You play a big part in that, Mr. Mayor. You do, and I want to let you know that. There are families struggling in this city, and you have the nerve to sit here and tell me that I need to rush this?
I'll tell you that.
No, you did.
I didn't.
You just said you were hoping this was going to be a quick meeting, bang, bang,
I
bang,
said I
vote
was-
out.
I was told it was going to be quick.
Yeah, well, listen, leaders don't rush things through, especially when they're the helm of a
That's right.
ship called a municipality.
You tell him, Chris.
Okay, this is the largest budget this city has ever seen. All right, so now you know where I stand from, right? I'm looking out for people like my mother and all of these people in the city of Fall River that you forget about. Okay, that's,
I don't forget
no,
about
you do.
anybody.
You
You're
do.
putting your
Good.
feelings in me. Just ask a question, Chris. It's fine. I worry about everybody in the city. every day.
Yep. Unfortunately, some more than others.
No.
No, yes, yes, and this is frustrating.
That's
So I'm gonna
again, your
move on,
opinion,
Mr. Mayor.
your opinion.
It's my opinion, but it's quite proven, believe me. Ms. Arpke, let me ask you a question. Without one-time money, could you balance this budget?
So without the 4 million for Diamond, I think that would be extremely tough. We could do it. We could always balance a
Okay.
budget, but it would require cuts of services and programs at that point.
Thank you. So if we didn't approve that transfer to the Diamond Stabilization Fund, where would we be right now?
What do you mean the
Just
transfer
fiscally,
to?
where would we be if we didn't have the 4 million? Where were you going to pull it from?
We would be pulling from departments, programs and operations. So
Okay.
that's why. we
Now,
had
what
set up
about the other
plan.
150,000 in free cash? I'm going to add that on top of it. Where are we getting that from? Actually, let me sum it up, I guess, easier. How do we look in FY28? I'm actually going to direct that question to you, Mr. Mayor. Do you know what we look like going into FY28?
Well, I think we have a significant stabilization fund now, more than whenever I got here back in 2020. I think going forward, when we look for what we're going to have for new growth, increased tax revenue, what the state does. I mean, we just got 600,000 for a bonus snow money. I know that's every dollar is going to help, but going forward right now, we're in a much, what I think when I got here, there was 500,000 in stabilization. So we're in a much better
And what is
place.
it at today? I think I asked the last
It's
meeting. But what is it at?
22.7.
million.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got room to go, but there's going to take some cuts and things we have to do together.
And where does our debt service stand for FY28?
For FY28, I don't know if I have that number for me. I think it's 13. I think it's just over 13 million. It's,
All right.
it's
So
not
if
far
we
from where we're
have
at today.
local receipts that are like leveling off at 1.6 or 1.8, where are we getting the money to pay for all of this
From
next
the-
year?
From the new growth that comes in, we get over $2 million a year in new growth. And then the new growth that's coming in this year will have, the increases, tax increases on it. So that's a large part of where some of this comes from. The state aid does continue to increase each year, not necessarily at the rate that we all would like it to, but it does increase each year. So those are part of the ways that this is. I know we plan to review all of the fee structures within ordinance that we have within the city that we're able to, I'm going to say locally set. We've been talking about going through that. We just haven't had, I'm going to say the time yet, but we have started doing the legwork to pull all of that data and information as to what they are, what other communities are at, and we want to try to move that forward with the council.
Okay.
We're also working on trash, lowering the amount of disposal costs for trash. We were here just speaking the other night with the ordinance committee about the change in ordinance going to no more than 4 unit parcels picking up trash. So that's going to significantly reduce our disposal costs.
So the point I'm getting at here, I guess, the marijuana money. So that's another question I had. That's an increase of $100,000. I think you said
Yep.
that's because of
The marijuana
That's a good point.
money,
So,
yeah.
Just really quick to answer the debt number, I was wrong with the 13.1. It's 12.6 right now for 28's debt service. So with the marijuana,
And that's not with Diamond and that's not with Conley.
that is with Conley. No, that's not with Conley. Diamond is not part of ours, so no, it's not with Diamond. It never
So
would be.
with
But
Conley, that's another 1.8 or 2.2 roughly. If
Conley
we go
would be-
20 years
yeah.
at 4%.
yeah,
So
the-
to add that to the Conley bill, so that's another 6.8
Potentially, yes.
roughly on top of this.
correct. And again, I don't have those numbers, but it's not set in that sense, so that's why I didn't include that in that
I
estimate.
just think we're burying ourselves. I do. I really do. You wouldn't say this is a structural deficit? We just pulled $1 million from EMS.
Yeah, it's structural
It
structural
just
I
seems
tried
deficit.
to put in there from the cost.
Fall
of
River,
the
yeah,
agreement.
Fall Mountain,
Yes.
I did. Fall River is burying it. Yep.
We are waiting for documentation to come in from PARAC right now. I don't have a
Yeah, because we
timeline.
don't
I
even know
followed
what
up.
that's going to
So
be
to
ultimately.
Councilor Peckham's point question, I think it was directly asked, is there a structural deficit in this municipal budget for the one-time money?
I do not think there is. I would
I
not have
want-
put it in
oh,
front of you if it was.
490, what is it, $500 million, I think isn't a good idea in this. I need to know if we're in a structural deficit. If we're pulling money from free cash or wherever else to backfill the budget, then we have a massive problem here.
So the free cash, to be very clear, that 150 is based on the temporary increase in law. So this past year, this current fiscal year, FY26, we came down for a $350 or $300,000 transfer from free cash for these current cases. So we are being told that is carrying into next year. So with that being said, we thought we would plan ahead rather than coming to you after the fact, but it's not something that would stay in, which is why we decided to fund it with one-time money, because it's not going to be a consistent expense.
Yeah, the problem is you raise the tax, the marijuana tax by $100,000, and that's not a reoccurring thing either.
So it is. So we are getting, the social equity payments had been held up. We weren't getting that 1%, and that's what's being added in now. So there is amount of retro that we're getting. We actually just got the first one for 26 today, and it's over $140,000 that we received for FY26. So given that, we'll probably be on track to continue at that rate. If 100,000, I'm going to say, to be conservative with it. So we are receiving that moving forward. Now we do our auto back pay, but we are going to start receiving it.
Well, let me tell you, wow. that's basically a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And well, City Councilor Chris Peckham, had the right to say, well, I mean, this is on the mayor. You know what I'm saying? This is on him. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's basically is on the mayor. I mean, look at look at the chief financial officer. You know what I'm saying? That he's got. What does she know? She knows. I mean, oh, I forgot to put this in, or that shouldn't be in there. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? You know, but and, good job to Chris Peckham. You know what I'm saying? And good job to him for pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? And he's right. The city is going down the tubes. Okay, the whole entire city is. Okay, so the whole entire city's going down the tubes. And it's sad that it is. It's horrible. You know what I'm saying? The city is going down the drain. Oh boy. And yeah, it is. It is horrible. I mean, it's terrible. That yeah, it is. It's yeah, it is. It is terrible. And we also there's also some things that I want to talk about. What happened in the CCON? Okay. And before I get to that, I want to get to this right here. The former Roman Catholic Diocese of Fall River is taking the city and zoning board appeals to land court, saying that the SBA was wrong, preventing Highland Church from building a parking lot on its land. So in February, the church was a holy name, and 709 Hanover Street was denied the appeal permit to remove some of the property landscaping and buildings and on-site parking lots. It's the land entitled plan would see the church built 70 parking spaces on its land between Hanover and Mason Street. That was reduced to about 50 to 55 parking spaces after meetings that saw input from supporters and opponents from the neighborhood. The 5 members of the ZBA rejected the permit 3-2. Wow, that's crazy too. So the diocese appealed at the appeal court, so land court. But hey, I mean, I guess they, basically, I guess they won, So let's see. Yeah. So yeah, they won. Southeastern Regional Transit Authority. Southeastern Regional Transit Authority extended their fares free ride up until next year. So let me turn to 10 here a little bit. Southeastern Regional Transit Authority is going to keep the fares for free services and another year, according to the Herald News of Fall River. Bus services will be free for Fall River, New Bedford, and the end of June of 2027. So yeah, so the end of June of 2027, the buses will be actually free for everybody in the city of Fall River. Let's see, what else do we have here? Yeah, this is horrible, man. Trash all over Plymouth Avenue. Got a chair over there. Got a carriage full of trash, clothes. I seen it. That is so horrible. Let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, again, I did mail the letter out to the mayor a while ago, but never got a response. So that proves that the mayor, the city mayor of City of Fall River, he doesn't. I mean, basically doesn't care. And I think Councilor Chris Peckham is right. And yeah, so the mayor, he says he cares, but when Chris Peckham asked him that question, and and he says, I do care. So Chris Peckham says, nah, I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying, which is in Chris Peckham's right not to to believe him, because if Mayor Paul Coogan did care, okay, he would be coming to the people, okay, and listen to the people's concerns. So, I mean, obviously, he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, don't say you care about the people of the city of Fall River, then when you're confronted by the city council, when you're confronted by Chris Peckham, and well, I do care. Well, I mean, but if the mayor if he did care, so why don't he show that he cares when somebody sends a letter out and respond back to it. You know what I'm saying? Send a letter back and respond back to it. You know what I'm saying? Don't leave the taxpayers hanging. You know what I'm saying? And if a taxpayer is expressing their concerns about things, about issues that are going on here in the city of Fall River, but answer their question, send them a letter in the mail. You know what I'm saying? If he cares like he says he does, but but he doesn't show it. He doesn't. And I'm sure that, good thing, I post my letter up on Facebook, and I gave a copy to Linda Pereira. I gave a copy to Chris Peckham. I gave a copy to, who else did I give a copy to? Canuel, Councilor Canuel. I gave a copy to, and then, as a matter of fact, I gave a copy to Dion too. I gave a copy to, but good thing, you know what I'm saying? Because Mayor Paul Coogan, when he was confronted by Chris Peckham, I do care. Well, if you do care, and when somebody sends you a letter voicing their concerns, I mean, answer it. Send a letter back. You know what I'm saying? To let the constituent know that you have the letter. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that with the. It's not like that with the council. It's not like that with the mayor. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's there. You know what I mean? But you know what? Hey, I'm going to give Chris Peckham that one. You know what I'm saying? Because he called out. Okay. He called out Coogan. Okay, he did. He called Coogan a liar right there on national TV. Oh, yeah, No, I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? Well, which is, it's in Chris Peckham's right. You know what I'm saying? To call him out. But yeah, I mean, but Mayor Paul Coogan deserves to be called out. Okay, he does. He deserves to be called out because you know why? Because he when a taxpayer or constituents is reaching out to the mayor's office and you don't respond back. I mean, why ain't you responding back? You know what I'm saying? And then over there at the council, I do care about the people. No, you don't. And Chris Peckham said, no, you don't care about the people. You know what I'm saying? You don't. You know what I'm saying? And good. And I'm glad Chris Peckham called him out on it. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it's in City Council Chris Peckham's rights. Okay, under the First Amendment. You know what I'm saying? To call him out. Okay. Hey, then he's asked. Then Ramsey, corporate counsel Ramsey, supposed to be the attorney for everybody, but he's another slide kick, you know what I'm saying, that attorney, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, okay? My opinion, I think we're better off next year, we're better off voting in a manager instead of another mayor because, and let's put it this way, okay? I think, in my opinion, I think Joe Camara and Paul Hart should get the boot. You know what I'm saying? Because something. Because when I was watching the city council when it was live, all I heard it was no between them two. No, no, no. Yes, no, yes, no, 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 yes, 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 yes. Okay. I mean, I think Paul Hart, yes, he should go. Joe Camara should go. Because Joe Camara is over there interrupting, Michael Canuel, Councilor Michael Canuel, when Michael Canuel was actually talking. It's like, it's like interrupt all the time. I mean, why is Joe Camara interrupting the councilor when the councilor had the floor? Okay, yeah. So. I mean, that's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? When President Cliff Ponte had the right to turn around and say, "Hey, look, Joe, clam it. Michael Canuel's got the floor." Yeah. So, I mean, it's like a circus over there. You know what I'm saying? It is. It's like a circus over there. I mean, if the council, okay, has the floor, okay, I mean, respect that. You know what I'm saying? Respect the council to have the floor. You can't go and and say, well, and keep and talk and interrupting the council. You know what I'm saying? So, oh boy, yeah, it's actually totally a mess. But hey, something. But even Chris Peckham said that that city's going down this way. So the city's going down in the dumps, and that's it. Because you got an incompetent mayor that doesn't know how to use his brain right. Okay, then you got somebody that doesn't know how to add up figure out numbers. Okay, it's ridiculous. I mean, so but anyway, let's see what else I have to talk about here today. Let's see here. Yeah, he's right. Yep. John Lansbury, yeah. The mayor, yeah, he is a loser. Let's put it that way. I mean, doesn't what does he know? You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know anything. You know? I mean, it's pretty sad that, we have a incompetent mayor that doesn't know anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Goes and tells the council, oh yeah, I care about the people. Yeah, and Chris Peckham called them out on it. No, I don't think so. This all falls on the mayor. You know what I'm saying? It does. So Mr. Mayor, this all falls on him. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't really care about the people. It's sad. It is. It's horrible. I mean, look what they did to yeah, well, you know what? Congratulations to Chris Peckham and Michael Canuel for sticking to sticking to it. You know what I'm saying? And Chris Peckham sticking to his sticking to the fight. So thank you, thank you, Councilor Peckham, for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, and he'll get my vote next year too. So will Mike Canuel too. Linda Pereira, Joe Camara, nah. Paul Hart, nah. They ain't gonna get my vote. You know what I'm saying? Them two, Joe Camara and Joe Camara should resign with Mayor Paul Coogan. So is Paul Hart too. He should resign too. You know what I'm saying? Because all I heard was no. You know what I'm saying? It was always no between Paul Hart and Joe Camara. And these are the people that you want in there for a city councilor? Come on. Give yourself a break, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you keep voting, Joe Camara and Paul Hart back in office. You know what I'm saying? Keep voting them back in office. It's ridiculous already. It's nuts. How all that stuff, how everything was going. You know what I'm saying? I even it's good. I'm glad that Chris Peckham called them out. I'm glad. Good for him. You know what I'm saying? And you know something? Hey, Councilor Chris Peckham was all in his right to do so. You know what I'm saying? Because Chris Peckham knows that Mayor Paul Coogan's a liar. Okay? And good. I'm glad. Good job, Chris. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the whole entire meeting, and you know something, and I'll tell you, and Joe Camara is interrupting Michael Canuel. You know what I'm saying? Look, how rude, okay? How rude could Joe Camara be to interrupt Michael Canuel, okay? Interrupting him like that, you know what I'm saying? That's ignorance, okay? It's rude, okay? Paul Hart, he's another story. Okay, yeah, well, Paul Hart should go. Joe Camara should go in 2027. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Because we have two good city councilors on a panel, Chris Peckham and Canuel. And maybe we can, they're working their magic, and I'll tell you, both of them guys, they're a team. They're a team. I mean, they're right. They're boom, right on the ball. I mean, I've watched the city councils on Facebook and on YouTube, and they're great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got two good city councilors on there, and we want to keep them two there. You know what I'm saying? So Joe Camara and Brett and Hart, we have to get rid of. Okay. if we can get rid of them and put two new good Republicans on there, the Republican City Council Republicans on there, man, then you know what? Now you're talking. Now we got a team. You know what I'm saying so. But we don't go by parties in city elections. So, it's amazing. It is, and I'll tell you, Joe and Joe and Hart has to go. You know what I'm saying? Because all I've been hearing about, no. Okay, and you know something. And somewhat with Linda Pereira too, Linda Pereira put some no's and some yes in there, but I mean she's been there a long time, so she's been there for quite a few years. In that, and yeah, she's been there for a very long time. So, but hey, it's like this, it's Coogan's. Coogan thought he was going to get away with. Oh yeah, I do care about. No. Chris said no. You don't care about you don't care about the people. Good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad he said that because I knew that the mayor didn't care about the people. Okay, I knew that, and Chris called him out on it, and I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it when he called him out on it. I mean, I just have to sit here and just laugh. You know what I'm saying? Because he thought that Chris Peckham was going to say, "Oh, okay," but Chris Peckham said, "No, you don't care about the people." Good. I'm glad he said that. You know what I'm saying? He's got a heart of God. He's got the heart of the Lord inside of his heart, man. So he's got the heart of the Lord in his heart. Good. I'm glad. Something. He stood up for himself, and he did. So he actually stood up for himself. Canuel did too, and I'm proud of both them councils. So we need to keep them too. You know what I'm saying? In 2027. So Paul Hart, Joe Camara, they need to get booted. They need to go and live with Mayor Paul Coogan at his house. Maybe Paul will take them in, and maybe they'll run their own campaign up there some point. Anyways. So yeah, that was a shame today. That was a shame. I wanted to find the article about the. Let me see. I think I sent it on somebody's. Let me see. I gotta. Let's see. I sent it on somebody's. Let me see here. Hold on. Sent it on somebody's. Let's see. Let's see. There it is right here. I got it. Crews continue to search after a vehicle submerged into Seekonk River. Occupants by the mother and daughter and 2-year-old child. The crews continue on Monday to locate and occupy the vehicle that became submerged in the Seekonk River. According to police, and Sunday, approximately at 7:30 p.m., in Pawtucket, police officers were dispatched to the Taft Street boat ramp following the report of a occupant vehicle entering the water. Upon entering the water, the vehicle quickly became submerged. Members of the Pawtucket Fire Department and surrounding public safety agencies and Rhode Island State Police and diver team in response to the scene. Coordinates to search search and rescue operations was entitled immediately at approximately at 1 a.m. The search effort were suspended due to challenging waters conditions and poor visibility continued to this morning. And so a GoFundMe page, GoFundMe fundraiser was stated that the mother and 19-year-old daughter and 19-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old child were in the vehicle and has not yet been received. Well, they did actually find them. So they did actually find them. But they're saying that the mother, well, the daughter couldn't find the brakes on the car, and what happened was the mother told her, "Put the brakes on, put the brakes on." Even the mother even told her, even called the father and told the father, "Well, she's not putting the brakes on." So she basically, she basically had a learner's permit, and somehow, man, and weaved right into right into the Seekonk River. I don't know. I mean, there's all, and people are saying all kinds of this, all kinds of that. Maybe she had maybe the 19-year-old daughter had a mental issue, mental health issue. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. I'm saying, and but you don't. I mean, and that's that, and you don't, and that's the sad part about it. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, so you got a 2-year-old in the car seat that died, 19-year-old and a mother that died too, and so I mean, it's sometimes tragedy hits too fast. You know what I'm saying? It does. Tragedy hits too fast, and and tears come down my eyes when I hear a 2-year-old was involved with that accident, and and yeah, and it's my condolence to the father, and maybe they should have left that 2-year-old home, in the house. You know what I'm saying? If she's gonna be taught how to drive. You know what I'm saying? So a 2-year-old baby, you know what I'm saying, in the car seat. Come on, you know what I'm saying? And you got a 19-year-old just learning how to drive. I mean, come on. She didn't know what a brake. She didn't know what a brake was. I mean, you got the gas pedal that goes straight, then you got the brake that goes down. I mean, how hard is it to find a brake? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a tragedy, and and they did find them. They did find them, and and I'm sure that they're going to get a proper burial. A proper burial, funeral service. And these kids were young. You know what I'm saying? And actually, the baby was like 2 years old. Didn't even have a life. 19-year-old did not have a life. But she could. I mean, sometimes sometimes you don't know. Okay, could have a mental health issue. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you think, oh, all right, well, your kids don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I mean, accidents could happen. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, this was, she couldn't find the brakes. I mean, come on, you can't find the brakes. I mean, anybody that has a permit, I'm sure that they can find the brakes. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I know I could find the brakes, and I used to have my permit. And I used to drive. I drove first time. You know what I'm saying? And I found the brakes. I knew where the brakes. I knew where the gas was too. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad. It's sad that it happened, and my condolences to the father. You know what I'm saying? And the rest of the family. I hope you give them a proper burial. There's a GoFundMe page for them. And hope that somebody donates a significant lot of money, so that way they can get their burial, and so that way they can rest in peace too. You know what I'm saying? So So it's a tragedy, you know, and it's bad. It's a bad tragedy when you have somebody you know when you have a 19-year-old and a 2-year-old, and the mother, dying dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these kids were young. You know what I'm saying? So the mother, I don't even know how old the mother was, but I know the oldest one that had the permit, she was 19, and there was a 2-month-old baby in a car seat. I mean, I had tears come down my eyes. You know what I'm saying? Even hearing that, and it's pretty sad that you hear these kind of horrifying stories, and it makes you want to cry. You want to put tears going through down your eyes a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I know I have kids of my own. You know what I'm saying? And I know, I know firsthand, because I lost my brothers and sisters in the drowning down at Pierce Beach on the other side of Battleship Cove. You know what I'm saying? So I know that firsthand. You know what I'm saying? So and I know what it's like, and it's sad. Even and it happens to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So my condolence goes out to them, and I hope they find some peace in their life. You know what I'm saying? And move on, move forward, and don't forget, but move forward. And that's it. So on this one here, Maura Healey won't say if she's to agree with the Supreme Court to uphold the transgenders and athletic. So and Governor Maura Healey refuses to say whether she agrees with the U.S. Supreme Court on ruling upholding transgenders athletic. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So that's up to it's basically up to the Supreme Court whether if they want to do or not. They're the boss, not Governor Maura Healey. And I think Governor Maura Healey spends more. I think Governor Maura Healey spends more time talking about Trump than taking care of take care of the people of Fall River. You know what I'm saying? Or Massachusetts, the state. So spends more time talking about him. In the news, Mayor Wolf said that she is not endorsing Governor Maura Healey, and that's the first Democratic mayor of Fall River saying that she's not going to endorse Maura Healey in her reelection. So that's pretty cool. That it is pretty cool to hear. Despite on what Mayor Wu does up there when she's mayor in Boston, but she said she's not reelecting. She's not supporting her campaign on reelection. So that tells you something. Okay, so that tells you something that changes are coming very soon. Even in the governor, even in governor. So and let's see what else is going on in here. So let's see what else is going on in here. An assistant DA said that the death of the baby had a big impact on Mansfield for 41 year later on the DNA, helping to crack this case. Wow. What case was this? Listen again here. What case was this? It was a cold case of a death of a baby in Mansfield. In 1985, a DNA testing provided significant breakthrough on Tuesday, June 30th, in 2026. Diana Curry Peck, 59, of Attleboro, was arraigned in Fall River Superior Court on the charge of murder. Prosecutors said that the genetics testing identified her as the mother of Manfield's baby. We are never going to give up on a case, and Bristol District Attorney Thomas Quinn said in a press conference outside of the courthouse Tuesday about the 41-year-old case. Peaks of pledge is not guilty, as was released on $1,000 bail. Here is what we know. The Eastern case of parole denied by Eastern Church youth leader convicted of what is happening in the court system. Assistant District Attorney Jason Manhood said during the argument of the baby's discovery by a father and son who were rabbit hunting near the Mansfield airport when they saw the set of a footprint. After following the footprint by the discovery, they entirely thought that it was a doll in the snow before realizing it was a baby. Wow, that is crazy. Said that the baby boy was discovered with his umbilical cords still attached, and which is the pleasant and plastic bag nearby. During a autopsy, it was determined that the baby boy was visible and alive and short prior of time before dying. That is crazy. Okay. Wow. That is crazy. Well, you know what? Somebody that does stuff like that to a baby, okay, I mean, they deserve to go to prison for the rest of their life, even without the possibility of parole, because that's evil, okay? That is evil, and I think, going to jail, she should go to jail, and, and even though if it's the 1985, there's no statute of limitation on murder. You know what I'm saying? So no statute of limitations on murder. You murder somebody, you go to jail automatically. No pass go, no collect $200. No collect $200. So, I mean, that'll be the, so I don't know why she pleaded not guilty, because, I mean, her DNA was all over the baby, you know what I'm saying? Even the bag and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? So, you want to, you hear these horrifying stories, and then you want to have tears coming down your eyes, you know what I'm saying? No one wishes, hey, you know what? I wish that was my kid, you know what I'm saying? I bring that baby up, in the world to enjoy himself, things like that, but it's pretty sad that, you have to hear things like that, Well, it is what it is, it is what it is, people like that would, I don't know who won the World Cup. So I don't know who won that World Cup. I mean, the World Cup. Yeah, it's I don't know who won that. Yeah. Who won the World Cup, David? I don't even know. Joe Rebello said, David, did you receive a picture I sent you on all the crap that was left on the middle? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was horrible, man. Yeah, that was horrible. Plymouth Avenue, damn shame. Yeah, of course. Linda Pereira been there too. As long as they text Linda to be about all the trash and homeless left in the middle of Plymouth Avenue, of course. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah, it is. It's pretty. It's pretty sad that that did happen. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty sad. I don't have any words to say, about it, but it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wish I knew who won the World Cup. And so I wish I knew, because the World Cup is that was something that was something that it was quite I don't know. I don't know who won. I mean, let me try to Google it. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. Who won the World Cup championship? Okay, if you made it 26 club, no one has won yet. Tournament is still. All right, so no one had won the World Cup yet. It's still a knockout tournament, stage, and the final schedule for July 19, 2026 at the MetLife Stadium. So, so for whoever asked about it, no one won the Cup, the Nationals yet. It's July 19th, 2026, the MetLife Stadium. So nobody won that yet. So but I'll be actually probably broadcasting that and talking about the World Cup and around July 19th, and see who won that. See who won the championship. So so yeah. So no one had won that the World Cup yet. So but I'm glad I'm glad he brought that up. And I will be watching out for the actual World Cup. So but anyways, everyone, I'll be on Wednesday night. If I can make it back home Wednesday afternoon, I'll come on. But if I can't make it back at that time, because there is things that there's things I have to do. But I will be on Wednesday tomorrow, and I'll be give you guys some more info on the World Cup. I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about other things. But hey, take care, everybody. Have a great night, and it's going to be beautiful out tomorrow again. It's going to be sunny. Also, on Friday, it's going to be very hot up until August. So be sure to stay hydrated, drink a lot of water, or drink a lot of iced tea, or drink a lot of Budweiser, smoke a lot of marijuana, do whatever. But just keep hydrated. So take it easy, everybody. Have a great night. And this is Dave Mead for Auburn Media News. Always broadcasted every Wednesday. I broadcast every Wednesday and try to get the news and information out. Even if I'm outside, out and about in the community, I try to do some transparency out there. Try to do some public safety audits, to ensure people's safety out there, because there's a lot of I do a lot of public safety audits, so out there. So stay stay hydrated and drink a lot of water. So the stuff that's going on here in the city of Fall River, I suggest go out with your elderly parents and take care of them and make sure that they don't get pushed down just like my mom did. Take care, stay safe, everybody. I suggest everybody to wear body cams, so that way you guys can stay safe too as well, because recording videos and stuff like that always tells the story. So take care. Have a great night. Meet again for Media News. Have a good night, everybody.